You're listening to The Straight Line on MRN.com, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. And also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome to this week's edition of The Straight Line, right here on MRN.com, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts and Hercules Tires. Well, my buddy Ralph Shaheen is not in the studio this week, so I get to bust his chops. Seems like we spend weeks going back and forth here, but he's got a good excuse. He's up in Indianapolis doing a little racing. Tell us about what you're doing in Indy, Ralph. We got him on the phone.
Well, I'm driving down to right now.
No distractions, Ralph. No distractions. You got to concentrate on driving.
Okay. Hands on the wheel. I'm all good. But yeah, the BC39, the midget race, second annual, that they've done this up here in honor of Brian Clausen, who we tragically lost a few years back. The Speedway built that temporary dirt track. Hopefully the next it would be in turn 3 of the big Speedway, and getting ready for the second night of racing up here. And track racers in attendance, by the way. We'll get into that a little deeper in the show, but like they are talking last night.
Cool. Well, Indianapolis, obviously the big race for the NHRA last weekend with the U.S. Nationals. Now you're already up there. You're a little bit late for the U.S. Nationals, but hey, what do you think? Doug Kalitta takes home his first Indy win. I've raced him at Indy several times. Connie Kalitta's won at Indy. A lot of history there. John Force won his 151st race at Indy and sixth time at Indy. Alex Laughlin, first time at Indy, third race win for him. Jerry Savoie, the alligator farmer, he wins, and we'll have both Doug Kalitta and Jerry Savoie on the show a little bit later today.
Yeah, there were great stories in every category, weren't they? I mean, Forrest gets his new deal with Chevrolet announced earlier in the day, and it goes on to win the biggest race of the year. Jerry Savoie, you saw how emotional he was at the end of that thing. Every one of those stories was just tremendous. And it really showed how big a race that really is and how important it is to everybody who competes in it. The guys that won were just in tears because they were so excited. And then guys like Ryan Cass throws out the first round. Just the devastation of wanting to win that so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody talks about Indy and how big it is. And I think maybe a little bit of the luster went off it there for a little while. But when they came back and they actually, points and a half, they've done a bunch of things to try and build that luster back up. And it seems like it. I mean, it never lost the luster with the racers. It maybe only lost it with the fans. But I think they're kind of getting that back. It seemed like they had a pretty good crowd there. The racers are excited. They had a good car count. A lot of people were, bringing their cars out that weren't normal, full-time competitors. So all in all, it seemed like a really good Indy to me.
Yeah. The only thing that I hear from anybody about it, from the competitors, and JR and I were talking about this a little bit last night, it's a really long weekend, right? It's almost like a race week, not a race weekend.
Well, that's kind of like the month of May for the IndyCars guys, right? It's a month of racing, so.
Yeah, you're right. Right, absolutely. But I think all in all, in some of what, just like with the Indy 500, some of what makes that so exhausting is the emotional roller coaster that goes with it, right? I got to get in the show part of it. I've got to have a good run. I've got to get through the first round. You can't take anybody lightly. And I mean, we saw that everywhere you looked. And then the emotions still out good, bad, or otherwise, depending on how you are on that, right? Guys like Tony Johnson Jr. goes out early, just devastated. Caps out early again. And then you see guys like Jerry Savoie and Doug Kalitta who finally win this thing and what it means to them.
Yeah, and Steve Torrence had his huge lead taken away going into the countdown because that's what they do. They bring everybody's points together. And then his father, Billy Torrence, got into the countdown after only running a few races during the regular season. But the key was he won several of those races, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that all plays into that emotional roller coaster, right? Because for some guys, it's not just about winning the race at Indy, the biggest race of the year, but also can I reach my way into potentially being a champion at the end of the year as well. And Jerry Savoie did that, and it was remarkable.
How about John Force, 151st race? He also had low ET of the entire race. He set during first round of eliminations. Like Force, he's not going away anytime soon.
No, and we don't want him to, right? I mean, what a sad thing for all race fans, drag racing fans or not. And I can certainly tell you, for a pit reporter, it will be a very sad thing because these are the greatest interviews ever. to lose all of the opportunities, his fun and his excitement after a run and hear him talk about it is just treasure, absolute treasure.
Yep, he is, and he's just a neat guy, fun to talk to. Loves the fans. He loves the sport of drag racing. Just he's a hero, that's for sure. What do you think? So the countdown, going into the countdown, how do you feel that these competitors? What do you think you think their processes are going to change, or they're going to continue doing what they're doing? Right, Steve Torrance. Why would he change anything?
Yeah, but Steve Torrance, I don't want to change a thing, right? Can't get here quick enough. I don't even want to have a weekend off. I just want to go racing again and continue. And I think the thing you want to do is win at Maple Grove, right? If you can come right out of the box and win at Maple Grove, and just remind them, okay, I have still here. You're going to have to go through me to get this thing. But just, emotionally, it's got to put a drain on the rest of your competitors. And hey, wouldn't it be something, of course, catching? I don't want to say catch the fire because he's done that numerous times too. But maybe Forrest gets at a streak here now, and maybe he's going to pick at the right time.
You just never know. I mean, Forrest can go on a streak anytime. I'd actually, Doug Kalitta, it's no mystery. He's a good friend of mine, and he's finished second so many times. In the 1 year when Schumacher stole it from him on the last run at Pomona, I don't know. I'd even as much as I like the Torrances and have an incredible job they've done, and I mean, they've obviously proven that they're in the position they should win the championship this year. Doug Kalitta, man, he's like the sentimental favorite, at least for me. I mean, he's finished second. He's been out there racing so long and, has been a championship caliber of a car.
Well, he's got a tremendous amount of momentum coming with him, doesn't he?
Yep, he sure does. Well, hey, we'll be right back. We're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back to interview Doug Kalitta, and we'll keep Ralph Shaheen on the line so he can keep us entertained over there in Indy as well.
Hey, race fans, it's Ralph Shaheen, and like you, I have a huge passion for racing. With the most in-depth features on racers, series, and events, no one covers racing better than America's original motorsports publication, Speed Sport. Get your subscription to Speed Sport magazine today at speedsport.com.
Protect your engine with 5 parts of Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for just $33.99. Plus, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate. You can also earn bonus O Rewards points on Castrol Edge motor oil products right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It wasn't just built to be a museum. It was built to be a shrine to the history, heritage, and future of the sport we love. Visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame and see how Petty, Earnhardt, and hundreds of other NASCAR legends became heroes. Watch their most electrifying moments, experience realistic racing simulators, and much more. Plan a trip to the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte. Tickets at NASCARHall.com. NASCAR Hall of Fame. This is our sport. This is our house.
Welcome back to this week's edition of The Straight Line right here at MRN.com. Great guest we have on the phone right now. 46th career win, first win in Indy. My friend Doug Kalitta. Congratulations, Doug. Great job winning Indy. Man, I was so happy to see it.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was you and me both. It was a good day for us.
What do you think? I'm sure the Rad Man, he's obviously, I remember that year when he beat Eddie Hill in the final and won Indy. Was he, how happy was Conrad to be back in the winner's circle at Indy this year?
I actually have to I wish I'd got a picture of him when I first seen him, because this guy he was so happy. He was so happy for us, and you know how much he loves Indy, and you know what a big deal it is for him, and really for all of us. But no, it was really cool to do that and have him there. So it was about as good as it gets.
Doug, can you put into words what it means to finally see that Indy win light come on for you?
You know, it's almost one of those deals. Still hasn't totally sunk in. You know, it was definitely a little nerve-wracking out there. My car had quit coasting. I'm thinking this, you know, I'm gonna get past here just any second, and then that wind light came on. So fortunately, Billy was having the same issue without a blower belt, and you know, it was just a sigh of relief more than anything.
Hey, Doug, 500 career starts, and that ends up being the lucky number, right? 500, you win in Indianapolis, maybe 500 in Indy just kind of goes together. That's pretty cool. I remember your first race, and now 500. Man, what a road you've had, huh?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I was saying, you know, obviously driving for Connie, and certainly appreciate everything he's done for me. You know, fortunately loves drag racing, and you know, with our 60th year with Kalitta Motorsports, you know, him still out there tuning Richie Crampton's car, you know, and just everything we got going on with our effort these days. It's cool to be part of, for sure.
Doug, obviously the run for the championship is next in line for you. So how does the momentum from Indy set you up for the next round of Maple Grove?
Yeah, you know, the good thing is we got a lot of momentum. Guys are, you know, we're all super excited. So we'll definitely hit the ground running there, and just try to do what we've been doing, qualify as good as we can, and just try to go around. You know, you know, there's plenty of good running cars out there these days, and you know, you just really have to work hard at it, and we're definitely we're ready. We're excited for it, and Maple Grove is always a great place to go to. So, you know, the conditions are performances are real good, so we're always look forward to going back to there.
Hey, Doug, your first round race against Clay Millican, that was one of the closest races I remember seeing for quite a long time. Did you know it was as close as that when you got to the finish line?
No idea. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, you can't. With the way the cars are these days, you can't see nothing over there unless the guy's, you know, ahead of you by a half car length. So didn't hear him, didn't see him, and you know, thank goodness you got that wind light. You know, it's certainly what you're looking for out there trying to win these things.
Doug, I know you got the wheel and fidget around the racetrack inside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway the other day. How was that getting back in an old open wheel car for you?
You know, that was super exciting for me. You know, it's been 21 years since I've really driven anything for a midget like that, and you know, Keith Coons' cars are just you know, the best cars out there, really. And you know, it was just fun getting out there, sliding around, and you know, kind of getting back to my roots with you know, with driving a midget again. But definitely, you know, you get done and it's like, man, get another shot at that. I could have gone better, but it was a lot of fun. And Eric Jones was out there, and J.R. Todd, and we had you know, Christopher Bell was out there helping, and another guy, Tucker, was helping me out. So it was a great effort, and we really had a lot of fun supporting Brian Clausen with you know, with the event, and tonight's a big night for him. So it should be fun to watch.
Hey, Doug, you're starting the countdown in the number 2 position. And as you were talking about, you've got some momentum now. The Kalitta Funny Cars have won championships here in the last few years. And you've been right there, man. I remember that time at Pomona not long ago, and Schumacher swiped it away from you on that last run. You've got the momentum. You're starting out in a good position. What's it going to take to get this done? I know everybody at the team's behind you. What's it going to take?
Yeah, just going around. I mean, you've seen what happened last year with Steve. I mean, he didn't give up any points through the countdown. So let's hope we don't have a repeat of that, unless it's my car, of course. But yeah, no, it's just going to take a great team effort, and I got a great team this year with Troy and Rob Flynn and really all my Mac Tools guys. We're pretty excited. So I think we got what it's going to take. So let's drag it out there and see what we got.
So, Doug, if you got to deal with Torrance all the way through this championship, how are you going to knock this guy out? Is it going to be really tough if he comes out and has a great run at Maple Grove? Or do you feel like even if he wins Maple Grove that you guys can catch him before it's all said and done?
Yeah, just the last two races, I think we've accumulated, I guess, more points than anybody in the top fuel. One of the Toyota folks was mentioning that. So I thought that was a good sign. I mean, that's what we got to do. We just got to stay ahead of the competition with round wins, and Steve is, and Billy, and just a whole lot of them out there. We're just going to have to go round and put our best foot forward, and I think the way my car is running right now, I feel we got a really good shot at that. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Well, Doug Kalitta, most recent winner at the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals, NHRA, Mac Tools, Connie Kalitta, just a great team. Doug, congratulations again. Great job. Continued success for the rest of the year is what we're hoping for, buddy.
Well, I sure appreciate it, and thanks for having me on today, guys.
Thanks, Doug.
About all the fans. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Doug. Doug Kalitta, driver of the Mac Tools Kalitta Motorsports Top Field Dragster. My friend, been a great friend to me, a great supporter for Brakes Charity. Lovely to have him here on the show this week for MRN. Stand by. We'll be back with more of the Straight Line right after these messages.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our street.
It's O'Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, where you can earn bonus points on more than 250 offers. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store today or browse through our offers at O'ReillyAuto.com, where you can earn double points shopping online. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The race to the championship is coming through Phoenix. It's the 2019 NASCAR semifinal race weekend at ISM Raceway. Now it's more personal than ever after a $178 million modernization project that gets you into the infield, into the garages, and even closer to the cars and drivers. The 2019 NASCAR semifinal race weekend at Phoenix's ISM Raceway, November 8th, 9th, and 10th. This time, it's personal. Lock in your seats early at ismraceway.com.
Joining us this week here, the winner of the Pro Stock Motorcycle Division at the NHRA U.S. Nationals, Jerry Savoie. We're out at White Alligator Farm Racing. He's out there taking care of those alligators right now, but he found the time to call us in. Jerry, congratulations and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you, guys. It's been a while. I guess you guys are tired of talking to Andrew every week, so it might be a big change for you.
Well, hey, second career Indy win. You finally got the Suzuki in the winner's circle. What did it take to get that done? I mean, you really had the best running bike. I mean, going into each round, your bike was really running well.
Yeah, we've been Tim been working really hard. Earlier during the season, we were lacking, and the fuel's a little different this year. In the cool weather, the Suzuki's needed more compression, and it just wasn't reacting properly. And if you look back, Karen ran good in Chicago, and she did a great job of riding. We just came up short, and then I qualified number 2 in Denver and number 2 in Sonoma. So, we had a bad weekend of qualifying this weekend, but that was mechanical issues. And finally on Sunday, turned it around.
So, Jerry, as you head towards Maple Grove now, how do you expect the bike to perform up there in that tree-lined quarter mile?
Man, I don't know. We really don't set the world on fire in Maple Grove. I don't know if it's because there's so many trees and the air is different. It's usually cool or really wet also. But maybe we'll find something this year. We were like that in Charlotte for years, and then finally found the combination that really worked well and been running really good in Charlotte. So maybe this will be the year. But Maple Grove's been a real struggle for us.
Hey, Jerry, you beat two of the Harleys going on to that win at the U.S. Nationals. Were you able to go back home and just relax and enjoy your alligators for a little bit, or knowing you were right back to work by the time you even hit the ground at home?
Yeah, well, we just finished hatching eggs, but I got home and we got cattle now since the last time I talked to you guys. So we've been working on the land and whatnot, fences and stuff, mainly for the cattle. So that's what we've been doing. But as far as beating the Harleys, anytime you beat one of them is a great accomplishment, and to beat two of them was even better. And then to be fastest of the round every round on Monday was really great.
So, Jerry, my buddy Herbert here, he loves to go golfing. So let's say he's out golfing somewhere in Florida, and his ball gets just a little too close to the water, and he sees a pair of eyes eyeballing him up out of that shallow water there. And that alligator starts coming up onto the land. What's the one thing Herbert needs to do?
Call me. Call me. I'll walk right up his golf ball and bend down and pick it up, and I'll hand it to him in his hand. How's that?
That sounds like a deal, Jerry. I don't know, those big alligators. It's amazing how fast they can move when they want to.
Nah, they can move. I'm telling you, they can run really fast on land, and they really quick. So I wouldn't play with it. I would probably just grab another ball and take my chances.
Hey, you guys were the first really to figure out, it seems like, to figure out the EFI in the Pro Stock Motorcycle division. What's next for you guys? What are you working on to, well, as you said, you had low ET of each round on Monday. What have you guys been working on to get the little bit of an advantage back that you have now?
Well, if you look at all the increments, they 200s faster than us. The V-twins are a little stronger than we are, but sometimes they can't quite 60 foot as good as us, so it kind of, wouldn't say equals out, but we've been run down by Matt Smith several times in the last couple of years. Had him out the gate, had him off the line, and he run our bikes down. Harleys are the same way, but NHRA is looking at some 4-valve heads. We found a new engine in Europe, not a new engine, an old engine, but new information coming out of Europe on a 1400, basically GS11 set of cases. So the crank is a plain bearing crank. It's not welded, and that would be a great advantage. Not advantage, but a great beginning to a new era if this thing works. So that's what we're kind of kicking around a little bit.
The Harleys in general, as you look at them, where do you see their biggest strength, and how do you, along with Suzuki, find a way to stifle that going forward, not just through this year, but into next season?
Yeah, well, y'all, I want to check this out. These guys, they got to figure it out. I mean, and they work on their stuff all the time, and it's at their shop. So, they know what they need to do to stay a step ahead of us. But for the Suzukis, I think on thinking as far as like a Tim Kalungian kind of person, it's all about management. We have to manage the entire track from the beginning to the end. And if we don't, and the rider doesn't do his job, we don't stand a chance.
Jerry, you've won the NHRA championship before. You're starting out the championship countdown in the number 5 position, so you're not too far behind. All of a sudden, the points were pretty tied up. What's it going to take this year to win that championship? How many of these races do you have to go out and dominate at?
Well, if you remember, Eddie won the championship one time without even winning a race. So if you qualify well and go rounds, I mean, anything can happen. And then, Pomona's points and a half. So I started out at the number 6 spot last time. And the way we've been running the last 3 races, I mean, Denver, which we shouldn't even run good in Denver, but we qualified good. Sonoma, and now Indy. I think we own something, and with Tim managing everything, I think we're peaking at the right time. We peaked too early 2 years ago. LE peaked way too early, and we ran into some mechanical problems, and it couldn't be fixed quick enough. But I think we have enough bullets in the trailer now, and if we all do our job, the rider, the tuner, and the crew, I think, because as you know, it takes a complete team. The rider gets all the glory, but it's not just me, man. When you got a good bike under you and a good team behind you, it makes it much easier for you to cut light and ride better.
Absolutely. Well, Jerry Savoie, winner of the NHRA U.S. Nationals in Indy. Jerry, thanks for taking some time out to join us. Go out there and control that alligator population, and so we can enjoy some nice alligator boots. And good luck coming next week up at Reading.
Yeah, you're right. Well, thank you guys for calling me. I appreciate it, and y'all have a great one.
Thanks, Jerry. Jerry Savoie, winner of the most recent race, the NHRA U.S. Nationals in the Pro Stock Motorcycle Division. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back with a wrap up another great edition of The Straight Line.
If you hear squealing and grinding noises from your vehicle, it's time for new brakes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy any set of Brake Best pads and any 2 Brake Best rotors, you'll save 10% on your total purchase. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi folks, Mike Bagley here. At MRN, we rely on equipment from Racing Electronics.
Joey Logano to the lead on the back straightaway.
Racing Electronics has scanners and headphones. We can listen to every uncensored conversation between driver and crew.
You won the championship, baby, yeah!
And when we need live audio, in-car cameras, and up-to-the-second statistics, we use their latest handheld unit called Legend. To learn more about these products and many others, visit racingelectronics.com. Racing Electronics, the official two-way communication partner of MRN.
NHRA drag racer Doug Herbert here to talk about safe driving. In early 2008, my 2 sons were killed in a car accident that was caused by speed and inexperience. After the accident, I learned that over 6,000 teenagers each year are killed in car accidents, so I formed a nonprofit organization called Brakes. Brakes stands for Be Responsible and Keep Everyone Safe. Please visit our website at putonthebrakes.org to learn more about responsible driving and what you can do to keep our roads safe. Welcome back to this week's edition of The Straight Line. As we wrap up another show, we still got Ralph Shaheen on the line. But before we go back to Ralph, we're going to talk about this week, what is the red light and the green light? Ralph had some good ideas, as well as our producer, Daryl. What do you think, Ralph? The green light probably has to be what you're talking about. J.R. Todd, Doug Kalitta up there doing a midget race. Doug Kalitta, a former Silver Crown USAC champion. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a BC-39, of course, USAC midget in competition. And the dirt track temporarily built inside around turn 3 of the big Indianapolis Motor Speedway 2.5-mile oval. And J.R. Todd and Doug Kalitta had the opportunity to come out here on Tuesday, along with Eric Jones, a NASCAR star, and get behind the wheel of some Toyota midgets and take some laps. And for Doug, it was like, old homely. That guy's raced all kinds of open-wheel cars and extremely successful. And really had a great career as an open-wheel racer.
Yeah.
J.R. Todd has always had a passion for this sort of stuff, but he got the first-time laps in the midget, and he was showing me pictures and video. Man, he had that thing right up along the wall, and he was driving Christopher Bell's car, and Keith Coons, who owns the car, called him back in and said, "Hey, man, not so close to the wall," which is just we trying to race that thing. But he was grinning from ear to ear with it and had a blast. But he said, no chance, he's not quitting his day job.
Well, that's always fun to see those guys doing that, and I always enjoy going out and watching sprint cars and midgets running. That's been a fun thing for me ever since growing up in Southern California and being able to go out to Ascot. Okay, green light, another green light. I just saw an email yesterday. Ralph Shaheen, our host here, will be hosting the PRI breakfast featuring the Don Schumacher racing drivers at the PRI show up in Indianapolis here in a couple months. Tell us about that, Ralph.
Oh, I'm really excited about this. The Performance Racing Industry Show is the biggest coming together convention, if you will, for the racing community in the country. It takes place every year, early December, usually around the first week of December. And the breakfast is the first thing that happens on Thursday morning before the show actually opens up to everybody. There'll be at least 3,000 people in the room at the breakfast. I'll be the host this year. My longtime buddy, Dave Despain, has finally retired, and he's just off riding motorcycles, so they needed somebody else to be the host, and I got tapped to do it, and I'm really thrilled that the first time I get to do it, we're going to have a bunch of drag racers on the stage, and it will be all of the Don Schumacher Racing Organization drivers, and we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, race fans, this is industry only. You have to be a identified member of the racing industry. It's not open to the public.
Well, that is a little bit of the bummer part, but probably a lot of our listeners and folks are going to, will be there because that is that's an industry-wide show. It's a racing show, not only drag racing, but NASCAR, dirt track. I mean, every kind of racing, high-performance stuff that you can think of. PRI show in Indianapolis coming up in December. Check that out. Okay, now for Red Light. The red light has to be that here we are going into the countdown. Tony Schumacher is not out there racing. The Sarge, the multi-time national champion, is not out there racing. That's kind of a hit for drag racing, I think. What do you think, Ralph?
I think it's a huge one. Look, we don't know the whole story. We haven't been in on the meetings. We've had Tony on the show, and he has talked about it, and he has said they had opportunities, but they were looking for the right one. They felt early on that if they got the right partner, that it could be a long-term deal, not just a Band-Aid to the problem, but something that was more long-term. They could get competitive quick enough and enough points to get them into the countdown, and that ain't happening. So, missing 1 year is one thing. We sure don't want him to not be in Pomona come February.
Yeah, right. That's a hit. I mean, he's a fan favorite, and I think he does a lot of good for our sport. So bummer to see Tony not out there racing. Well, guess what? Just like all good things, the straight line this week is going to come to an end. Thank you for joining us. But before we go, don't forget, go to NHRA.com, click on the ticket tab, the little red tab up in the top right-hand corner. Get your tickets for the upcoming races. I know we have Reading coming up here next weekend, September 12th to 15th weekend. Reading, Pennsylvania, the NHRA Express Lube Nationals presented by Pennzoil. Coming up after that, our St. Louis race, our AAA Insurance NHRA Midwest Nationals in Madison, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, September 27th and 29th. Through the 29th. And then right here in Concord, we got the NTK, NHRA Carolina Nationals, ZMAX Dragway, October 11th through the 13th weekend. Another one to not miss. The October 12th, Saturday night, our Breaks Gala, our 12th annual Breaks Gala will be held this year again at Quail Hollow Club. Felix Sabatis is going to host. There's going to be a fun. Ralph, I hope you're going to join us this year for the NHRA Breaks Gala down there at Quail Hollow.
I'm trying, buddy, trying to clear that schedule for you.
Right on. Well, hey, great edition this week on the Straight Line. Thanks to our guests for joining us. Thanks to Ralph Shaheen for calling in. Guess what? Don't miss the races coming up next week at Reading, Pennsylvania. It's a race that I've won. That's a fun one. Don't miss it. You'll see the Amish folks there with their covered wagons watching the races. Everybody will be there. Don't miss this week's edition of the Straight Line right here on MRN.com, wherever you find your online broadcast.